The following podcast is presented by Secret Room Multimedia. You're listening to Fair Point. I'm Nathan Capisser.
And I'm Batman. I'm Craig Lewis.
Not Batman.
Not Batman.
No.
That was a different time.
How dare you? How dare you, sir?
It's a different place. They just don't understand.
There are
They
only
wouldn't
two
understand
men that
now.
are allowed to wear the cowl, and you are not one of them.
Who are the two, please?
We'll get into that later.
Okay.
Craig's like, well, I know one
Obviously, it's Val Kilmer and George Clooney, but...
Oh, you thought I was talking about actors. No.
Oh, people in real life?
Yeah,
George Clooney,
Bruce,
sure.
Like Bruce Wayne's one of them.
George Clooney, sure, yeah.
George Clooney is not the other one.
What if he did just start randomly walking up and down the streets dressed like Batman, and he's like...
just walking up and down the streets.
Yeah,
he didn't
well, I
stop
mean,
any crimes. He just
well-
walked up and down the streets.
No, he can't
guess.
worry
Batman.
about breaking his face. He's just starting to go crazy. He's like, have you seen Schumacher?
Where is Schumacher? Where is he?
No, Clooney doesn't speak Batman like that. That's not a Clooney Batman. Batman on my mind.
Yeah, let's clear this up. This is not the Batman episode.
God, no. This.
When we do that,
Yeah, there's no if. It's gonna happen. We'll be
that's going to be, an in-depth,
way more prepared.
autobiographical. Well, not autobiographical.
We'll tell you about the
'Cause
real
like we
man.
said, Craig's not Batman. That would be autobiographical.
Definitely give a more thorough
Running off
detailing.
the rails, yeah. This is the Batman banter episode.
We're just gonna talk about Batman for a bit,
And as a matter of fact, big news for Fairpoint. The structure of the podcast is changing. The whole format's changing.
from now on
episode-
till the end of time.
Yes, every episode is now we're just going to talk about Batman all the time.
Yep.
Not any other
Move over,
topics.
Kevin Smith.
No more history, no more anything. Just Batman.
Well, we could do Batman history.
Yeah. And
We do
things that
Batman
pertain to
lore.
Batman, but nothing else. All right, no, enough with the pretense and the facade. We are not actually changing the structure of Fairpoint. We're still going to do a new topic every week.
I guess so.
I just kind of want to talk about Batman forever.
Well, I don't know about you, but he's my idol.
It's episode 22. Here we are.
We're still kicking.
I personally apologize for last week's episode being late. It was 2 days late. No big deal, I doubt anybody really even noticed. But
All four of them.
but I feel bad.
I
So
don't
much
know.
shit.
I'm getting
If you
angry
can't hear it in
texts.
my voice. I got a sinus infection. I just moved. Holiday hours are coming up with my 2 retail jobs. I've been working my ass off around the clock.
Hey,
Editing
Nathan.
the episodes.
Hey,
There's
Nathan.
just so much.
Hey, Nathan, I know the people can't see this, but you can see this. I'm playing the world's smallest violin for you. No, I'm kidding. You've been under a lot of shit. You've had a lot going on.
No,
Working
it's
a lot.
It's all
You're
good.
going through a move.
There was no way for me to finish the episode in time, but
It's done.
it's out.
It's out. I would also like to apologize to the people.
What did you do?
Not really me per se,
What did you
or,
do? Oh my God.
not me at all. On behalf of Apple,
No.
even though legally I can't state that I speak for Apple. So unofficially on behalf for Apple, I would like to apologize to everyone that downloaded the iOS 7 app, the new operating system for Apple.
Why? Does it suck?
It's tricky. I mean, first off, a lot of people had issues downloading it like me. It wouldn't install. It just kept saying, like, this session is timed out. It can't be installed at this time. Please try again later. And it took 5 hours before I could finally install it.
5 fucking hours? Jeez.
Yeah, and you have to have 3 gigs free on your phone. So, like, most people that have the 16 gig, that's probably already, mostly full by now.
Jiminy Cricket.
Sitting there, I went through, like, all my photos trying to figure out what to delete just to make room. Because that's where, like, 7 of my gigs were.
Sorry, Grandma.
No, well, I did notice there's a lot of stupid photos and duplicates.
Yeah, no, we all
I
got
take
those
photos
logs.
as
I
dumb
have to go
shit.
through my photos sometimes and clear out my phone for space. There's tons of photos that were just for one text.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean?
Where like you take a picture of something you own and like text it to a friend.
Yeah.
You know, and be like, hey, look what I just got.
Yeah. Shit
And
like
you know, you don't think about deleting it immediately.
Or, you got some pictures of Anthony Weiner's private parts in your phone, and you got to clear those
They've
out.
gotten around, apparently. Those pictures have herpes by now, I'm sure.
I'm like, stop. Beep. And I'm trying to respond, and it keeps beep. Like, I'm in the middle of typing back to Anthony Weiner.
Stop sending me more dick pics. There's too many to handle. The real question is, if those are saved to your phone, you had to make the conscious effort to save the text to get it to your camera roll. Moving back to the iOS 7, it's definitely a much cleaner look. I don't know.
That's not a much cleaner look. No, Anthony Weiner, no.
Stop it, Anthony Weiner. We're trying to hold a podcast here.
Beep. Hold on, I'm going to change my ringtone.
I do not like you.
I don't like this ringtone. It's kind of lame. I'm going to try out a different
It kind of sounds like you making a bloop sound.
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's lame.
Hey, I just met you. Oh, there's another one. Hey, I just met you. Oh.
Carly Rae Jepsen? Nathan, really? Oh, man. I totally would have gone with
Hey, I just
Highway
met
to the
you.
Danger Zone.
Oh, my God, stop. That's my ringtone just for Anthony Weiner. And this is crazy. But here's a dick pic. Sext me, maybe.
Never, Anthony Weiner. I will never sext pick you.
Did you see the video of the guy flipping out on Anthony Weiner in public?
Yes.
Yeah. First,
Anthony Weiner was pissed off about it.
Yeah, and Anthony Weiner was like, "What gives you the right to judge me? What gives you the right to judge me?" And I was like,
You're a
"Well, I
goddamn
mean,
politician.
you give him the right to judge you. Your job is to stand in front of the American people and ask them to judge you,
and select you as their spokesperson.
What do you think campaigning and voting is?" But I found out more about it. That guy, the guy who was like shouting him down, not shouting him down, but who was putting him down,
heckling.
Yeah,
as we could say.
Apparently, it was all instigated because he said something about him having an Arab wife.
Anthony Weiner has an Arab wife?
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't like the fact that Anthony Weiner has an Arab wife.
Yeah, he went off the rails and was like, like when they talked to him later, like the news or whatever, he was like, personally, as a Jew, I feel that the Arabs, not all of them, but generally, they want to kill all Jewish people. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Well,
what an awful person.
Way to bring your religion back 100 years.
Jeez. It is funny, though, because after the whole video of Anthony Weiner going, "What gives you the right to judge me?" at the end, he says, "Yeah, it's his right. It's America. Of course it's his right."
Let me contradict myself.
That's what I get paid to do. So
yeah.
Hands up to play my song. Party in the USA. Oh, that's the text tone for Barack Obama.
Did Barack just send you a dick pic?
Oh. No Obama.
No Obama, no Obama, no Obama.
All right, so my first news story is more of a
spit it out
announcement to Dragon Ball Z fans everywhere. The Dragon Ball Z movie.
You know I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z guy.
So it's not to you. Well, back in March in Japan, the first new full-length Dragon Ball Z movie in 17 years came out. It's called Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Goku goes Super Saiyan God, which is even above Super Saiyan 3. It completely...
Get out of here.
Can you hear the sarcasm dripping from Craig's voice? It completely ignores Dragon Ball GT, which a lot of
all
people
sorts
don't like,
of
myself
Dragon
included.
Ball logic defied.
A lot of Dragon Ball Z fans have been waiting very patiently to see this movie because it came out in Japan. They're very strict with their movie theater laws. You do not get a camera in there. Well, it was finally released in Japan a week or two ago. A copy has surfaced on the internet with English subtitles finally. So you can see the movie with English subtitles.
And I wonder what the quality is. Is it like
perfect quality.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
I guess the subtitles vary depending on which version you check out, but the one I saw was good.
Shock and awe, Nathan.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll say one thing. I did not expect some shit about the ending. It was unconventional and awesome.
On the real, that seems pretty legit. Maybe let's see if I could find a way to get my hands on that. Check it out myself. Nathan, can I ask you a question?
You're not giving me much of an option there.
Do you find clowns scary?
No, I mean a scary clown, yes, but not just clowns in general.
So you haven't heard about the creepy clown that's been wandering the streets of Northampton, England?
No. Is it George Clooney?
No. Well, I guess nobody really knows yet. Honestly, I don't think he's that spooky. Like, people are saying he's really creepy just because they think clowns are creepy. Like, he'll just be walking around and then look into a window shop at people, like, eating in, like, a restaurant and holding balloons, smoking a cigarette, and just, like, waving creepily at them from the outside.
Really? Are there pictures of him?
Yeah, they're all over the internet. If you just search Northampton Clown.
That's crazy.
And he's just been, like, striking everywhere. And it's I think it's hilarious, honestly.
Are you sure it's not just a sandhill crane?
Let me check. Nope, it is definitely a Northampton Clown. Indigenous to that area.
A Northampton Clown. No, dude, he's definitely pretty creepy.
I guess. Like, he kind of looks like the clown from Stephen King's It. And he's been known to, like, tell people that...
Maybe not in every picture, but the first picture I saw, he definitely looked fucking creepy.
Well, there's a lot of, like, dark shots, so, like, it's kind of creepy seeing a clown walking around at night by himself. He's been said to have told people that he just came out from the
closet?
the drain pipes.
Oh.
Like, the sewer grates.
Yeah, that's real original.
Yeah, well, I think that's what he's going for.
That's really original.
No,
I've
that's
never heard that
sarcasm.
idea before. I've never heard of it before.
Aren't you sure?
No, I've never heard of it.
Didn't Dean Koontz do that?
Nope.
I guess not.
It didn't happen.
Must have been Michael Crichton.
I'm sure of it. It never happened.
Forced.
But I have to say about what this guy did, it was a very original idea.
Ah!
I do have to give him credit for it because...
Wait, who are you giving credit to?
We'll just leave it at that.
Excellent. We can just leave it at that. He did start showing up on Friday the 13th, though, so that's kind of creepy, too. But, like, people are saying he's scaring people and he's just walking around, man. Just let a clown live, you know? Give clowns a chance.
Yeah, clowns are allowed to walk around. Just because I'm a clown don't mean I can't walk around. That should be your slogan. Just adopt that and people will support you. Listen to us.
Clowns are people, too. I mean, lesser people, but people all the same.
Here in Syracuse, there's all sorts of people that walk around dressed like clowns, just walking the streets. I walked the streets dressed like a clown for years. No one ever wrote a news article, put pictures of me on the internet.
Well, to give you some credit, you didn't really look that creepy.
Ouch. So.
Yes?
AMC apparently has a fever, and the only cure is more spin-offs.
Give me more Walking Dead.
Oh my God, I didn't even make that connection as I was doing that.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
The only cure. So AMC is planning to do a spin-off or a companion series to not only The Walking Dead, but also Breaking Bad, which Breaking Bad is ending. And a spin-off.
Oh, I did hear about that spin-off. Yeah, I guess
what is it?
they
Just
kind of
Call
are
Saul,
addicted.
I think.
Saul's awesome, though.
Is that what it's called? Just
Call Saul. He's the lawyer, the attorney. He's like a ambulance chaser type guy. Shady lawyer.
Okay. I've only seen Breaking Bad here and there. Walking Dead, I'm a fan, a huge fan of the comic. The show has its moments. Sometimes it doesn't have its moments. And the 4th season preview looks cool. But a spin-off?
I'm a fan of The Walking Dead. I just want to put out there, I'm a fan of both. You got me into the comic before the series. We've stated that many times. But I don't know. I kind of understand where you're coming from. It's not as good, but I still thoroughly enjoy it.
Well, I don't see the point of a spin-off series. Like, what is it going to be about? Other people?
Yeah, other people. That's what...
So what the fuck is the point? Just introduce more people.
Well, did you hear the interview they had with Kirkman about it?
No.
Like, he's going to be a part of it, and he was, like, really excited about it, basically, saying it's going to be nice to have something set in the same world, but not bound by any restrictions that the comic held.
So Robert Kirkman's, you think that there's a possibility of him of him being like, I don't know, man, I'm not really for this whole idea, but, you know, they're going to do with it what they will. Like, come on, man. It's his product. Of course he's going to say he's fucking into it. He's not just going to be like...
But he's not a liar.
He's not just going to be like, well, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Like,
well, here's the other thing is he's not slated like to be a writer or any like big think tank guy on it. He's set to be an executive producer. So he does have say in what goes on.
It just seems pointless to me. This is what I say. Kill Rick. Make Daryl the main character. I love Rick in the comic. Don't like TV show Rick. Everyone loves Daryl. Nobody loves Rick. Like, kill Rick off. Make Daryl the main character.
That was like the saddest thing because I can't separate, even though it's a different Rick, mentally and emotionally, it'll still be like a severing of comic book Rick to me.
No way.
I can't.
It brings you closer to comic book Rick.
Oh, yeah? Because there's only one to go from?
Severing false gods brings you closer to the true God.
I didn't know we were going to take it that way. You, sir, need some help.
We're not talking about Batman yet, Nathan. We're just talking about Rick Grimes.
Oh, by the way, if the people from Death Battle listen to us by chance, they should do Rick Grimes versus Rick Grimes.
Oh, show versus comic.
Show versus comic.
Dude, show will get his ass whooped.
Yeah, absolutely, but it'd be awesome to see that.
Rick Grimes versus John Marston? I don't know. Maybe?
Rick Grimes versus Zoe Deschanel.
What? Rick Grimes versus a Zarmadillo?
What's his armadillo?
It's a cross between a zebra and an armadillo. Keep up, Craig.
One thing that does kind of make you sad about this show coming on is Charlie Collier, the president of AMC. Baby. God damn it. Did you give all these fucking people, presidents and shit, my numbers? I'll never tell.
Damn you, Charlie Collier.
So anyway, Charlie Collier said, and I quote, "Building on the success of the most popular show on television for adults 18 to 49 is literally a no-brainer."
Gee, Quinn, if you don't want to build on the success of the most popular show on television for adults 18 to 49, maybe you should just go hang out with the not cool crowd.
Basically, in a nutshell, he might as well have just like looked at the guy, said, Walking Dead spinoff, cha-ching. So, yeah, I don't...
Oh, Stacy. I totally want to bank on the success of the most popular television show for males aged 19 to 46. It wasn't even just males, it was everybody, isn't it?
Just adults.
Yeah, women loves that show too.
Adults,
they love
yeah.
Daryl.
They love Daryl, man.
I'm telling you, dude.
And it makes me happy, though, because I loved Norman Reedus for a long time, like, as an actor. Obviously, he's in Boondock Saints, but a lot of the mainstream, people that just pay attention to the mainstream didn't really know who he was. Maybe they're just, the guy from Boondock Saints, yeah, he's cool. But now he gets the real appreciation that he deserves, I think, as an actor.
And he gets a crossbow.
Everybody looks badass with a crossbow. Well, except for Prince Joffrey. But, that's a whole Game of Thrones thing.
Who's that? Oh. So, technically, AMC is actually making 2 Walking Dead spinoffs. Because did you know that Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead take place in a shared universe?
Oh, I did know that. I made that connection to somebody.
Well, never mind then.
Fuck. No, I did. Remind me. Refresh me.
Well, they might not know. So there's actually an episode, I guess, where Daryl is looking through Merle's drugs. He has a bag of like drugs, pills and shit.
And he
there's
has
the blue crystal meth.
The blue
in there.
crystal from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Apparently, Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead.
Eisenberg made those drugs.
Maybe he's the cause. He made the virus.
I don't know. There's still.
Should we call this the Heisenberg virus?
There's still a couple weeks left.
Well, is the show over yet?
It's written.
It's not over yet, though.
Yeah, it hasn't aired. The season, the series finale hasn't aired yet.
I mean, hopefully we're not spoiling shit, but like there's a chance that he could die right at the end, but it's still up in the air, right?
Yeah,
he might choose to still live or something.
Yeah, he could live or he could die.
He
still could make a Heisenberg virus.
Like it is every day for everyone. Like I don't see what the question is.
We don't know. Yeah, there's no finality yet on.
But
well, he's gone into remission and he got rid of the cancer, and I think he got it back on.
I seem to think there was this big battle between whether he was going to do chemotherapy or whatever and try to survive, or if he was just going to...
There's season 1, Nathan. Keep up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After that, I was just like, well, this is easy drug money.
He's all bald and shit now.
Yeah.
Well, whether he dies or not, even if he does die at the end and we don't see him create it, we've all heard of the Star Wars expanded universe.
No, see, here's what it is.
There's so much shit happening behind the scenes. Like he invented it's the Heisenberg virus. Let's clear it up on the air now.
No, here's what it probably is. It was just a bad batch of meth made by Otter or Beaver or whatever that kid's name is. The friend of Jesse.
I don't watch.
I know you don't, but people that do watch will know what I'm talking about.
Game of Thrones stuff?
No. But that's, maybe that we could see a spinoff that leads into that. If you're going to do something like that, go for it.
Maybe just call Saul is the Walking Dead spinoff.
Fuck,
First episode, fucking zombies attack. He's like, holy fuck.
Let's do what's right for business. Cancel all AMC shows except for Walking Dead related shows and Breaking Bad related shows. In horror related news, I saw Insidious 2. I don't know if you did, but it just came out basically.
Sweet. I haven't seen it.
No,
I liked the first one.
I might get into what I thought about Insidious 2 in a second, but they've already announced Chapter 3 is being made.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the same writer, Lee Wannell, I don't know how to pronounce their names, and then James Wan. He is not on it anymore.
I don't know how to
he was the director.
shit.
As far as I'm concerned, the only thing that saved it.
Oh, the director's not?
He's not.
Nice.
No, he's done.
But it's a moneymaker, so they're gonna keep going.
Right. At least they have the same writer, but
That's a fair point.
honestly, is what I thought Insidious 2 is basically a very padded epilogue to the Insidious 1. Honestly, it could have just been like 15-minute little short film they put at the end, as a bonus feature.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was so much padding, so much unnecessary stuff. They treated the audience like infants, basically. Like, there was literally, I don't want to get into any spoiler or anything, but there was one scene
where the main character just turns to the camera.
No. Kind of, actually, yes.
And he's like, do you guys want to go get some more popcorn?
You were
Who wants
almost,
to go to the lobby
you were
and get some
almost
more
there.
popcorn?
You were almost there.
You do? You want a big
No,
old Coca-Cola too, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
It wasn't made by Regal Corp. No, some parts were enjoyable. I liked it, but I know it wasn't a good movie.
Would the presence of Batman have improved it?
I don't think I could ever say no to that question. Batman makes everything better.
Yeah, I might go see the Sex and the City movie if
Batman was in it, right? Even if it was just like a side note, like you just saw a Batman logo
Here's
in the
your
sky
man.
while they're walking, yeah. And then foot face lady just like looks up at the symbol and goes, ha,
The foot
he's
face
at it
lady?
again. Yeah,
Who is the
Sarah
foot face
Jessica
lady?
Parker or whatever. Horsehead, I don't know.
You're just supposed to get that? The foot face lady?
Yes, everybody knows. Please. If I was to say the foot face lady from Sex and the City, would you not know I was talking about Sarah Jessica Parker?
I thought it was like a character or something. Maybe she's into some freaky sex in the city.
I really want to
don't know.
I want to be redeemed.
Speaking of serialized television programming that is no longer, a thing,
Yes.
for lack of a better way to put it. Get this, Craig. Well, how do I go in? All right.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Coming later this year, there's going to be a comic series published by Dynamite based on Heroes, the NBC television series.
An NBC television series based on the show Heroes, or the comic book version of the show Heroes?
What?
Or just Heroes in general?
There's going to be a comic based on the show Heroes.
Isn't there already a comic based on the show Heroes?
No.
Wasn't there like a webcomic or something like that?
Well, yeah.
It's still a comic.
There's going to be an actual comic series based on Heroes. It's going to continue.
So there's going to be another comic series based on Heroes.
No, there was never a comic series.
I consider
based on
that webcomic a series.
But it's not. There's like 2 collected volumes. This is an ongoing series about the characters. Like those were like different isolated stories, and like that was a bunch. That was like the Legends of the Dark Knight of Heroes.
Okay, well,
Which
potato. We can go on.
Yeah. Hey, no. I mean, no. Potato, sir.
damn
Potato,
it.
potato.
No, potato, tomato, whatever.
What's not that far removed? It was a little closer to potato, but it's potato. Damn it. You say potato. All right, look. You say potato. I say potato.
Buzzy and John Travolta say Nelly Furtado. We were talking about a new comic series.
No, we were talking about avocado gelato.
I have no words to say after that.
Yeah, Dynamite Comics is publishing a Heroes comic sometime later this year. And not only that, Craig, apparently earlier this year, I'm a little late on this part of the news, Xbox was in talks to revive Heroes as an original Xbox series.
Oh, kind of like what they're doing with the Halo series.
Except that that's a brand new series and it's already an Xbox property, and so no, not like that at all. But yes, like that. All right, Heroes, I fucking love the first season. It's like a 24-hour movie that fucking rocks. All the seasons after that are kind of like expanded universe or the animated series. Like, that's kind of how I view them.
But they were the legit continuation of the series and just, new seasons that really let you down.
Well, you know what? I've always had a particular way of looking at stuff that I've recently, in the last few years, heard Kevin Smith expounding that everyone makes their own canon. My canon is that
the first
season is legit, and everything else kind of is. I mean, it's the animated series.
Well, you and I used to
expanded universe.
Race home from work when we worked together on what was it? I think it was Wednesday nights or Tuesday nights,
and watch it on
NBC.com. We would watch it together, and I remember every week I would constantly be disappointed.
Well, like, here's the thing. It was even in the later seasons.
Fuck you, Ellie Larder, for living.
Oh, God.
Like,
oh my God.
How many clones
Worst
can you give
actress.
this bitch?
And they just kept bringing her back.
Seriously.
They killed her all the time. And
it's like, she had a new, cloned twin, test tube Tracy, just making her way out of the scene.
Is that one of Barbie's friends? Test tube Tracy.
That was...
I really don't like it when you guys call me that.
My parents were dead before I was born.
I don't know. I would love to see it come back because the later seasons were still fun to watch. Like you said, we still raced home from work to watch it. And they were fun to watch. And yeah, every episode you'd have so many complaints and be like, what the fuck, writers? Seriously?
And then the writers will look at us and say, oh, did you want to write this next episode? And we'll be like, no, you're good.
I would have taken that job. Fuck yeah. The more time that's passed, though, I seem to notice it's more like a comic because it goes through its phases. You know what I mean? Every comic goes through a part where it's like, what the fuck were they thinking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every time I read a Dick Grayson as Batman story, I
die a little bit inside.
No, I mean, I love it, but I'm in the back of my mind, there's always this thing nagging at me because that was when Batman died. And then later, afterwards, when he comes back, you find out he never died. All this other crazy shit happened, and he was in the past, and then he was... And I'm like... so when I read the Dick Grayson as Batman stuff, I'm like, this is good, but... in the back of my mind, I'm just like, right now, Bruce Wayne is, in the past, swashbuckling with pirates. Like, really? I choose
You would think that would be awesome somehow?
I choose to write that out of my continuity.
You make your own continuity. And my continuity is season 1, and that's it. The show just ended after season 1 in my mind.
But there's so much cool stuff. Fuck. Like Mr. Petrelli and the Puppeteer and...
Oh, the Puppeteer is pretty cool.
I thought the angle of when they made Siler think he was Nathan, there was a lot of shit that was really cool. That could have been dealt with a little better. But
yeah, if it was taken
cool
a little more
ideas.
Delicately,
yeah,
it could have been really good. Yeah, there were some ideas there that just weren't put out well.
Yeah, I recently introduced my roommate because like I said, I just moved into a new place, and I was like, oh, you got to watch Heroes, just the first season. Just trust me on this. It was the same thing you said to me, Craig. And
I did get you into Heroes, didn't I?
Yeah. And I was like, just trust me on this. Watch the first few episodes. You're going to be like, yeah, okay, I see why you like it. It's cool. I can see why you dig this. And then by like the 4th or 5th, you're going to be like, holy shit, I'm calling to work. I have to watch 5 more episodes. Well, a couple days later, I go to bed at like 2:30. He was watching Heroes. I get up at like 6:45 in the morning to go to the bathroom or something.
Still watching Heroes?
He's up watching Heroes. I was like,
oh my
I told
God.
you. And then went in the bathroom and then went back to bed.
Go to bed, Steve.
This is a public service announcement. Go to bed, Steve.
Just get a couple hours before your shift starts. Now, a little bit ago, you were talking about a mysterious monument left to Azathoth.
I was not. You have no proof?
Yeah, it was in Oklahoma.
I don't know anything about that. Never
left
saw
in
it,
front of
never
a
heard
bar
of
and
it.
grill.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I've never even heard of the Paseo Bar and Grill. I don't know what you're talking about.
I never said it was the Paseo Bar and Grill.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I got. Is this all? Will this be all? Because I got stuff to do.
Well, I feel like I can subside some worries that you had about this. We found out who put it there.
I swear to God, dude. I told you I didn't know anything about it, man. I've never seen it in my life.
Nathan, they know you didn't do it.
So they found out who dropped this, basically a big, what was it, like 2-ton stone monument?
No, 300-pound.
And it had some creepy inscription that
was
reminiscent of Lovecraftian lore. We talked about that last week.
In the year of our Lord, 2012, Creer Pai claimed this land for Azathoth.
Which is a evil Lovecraftian deity. Listen to last week's episode.
Yes.
We're not going to go through this again.
Yes, it is the dark god Azathoth. But the men...
So who put it there?
Was it
George Clooney?
No. I wish no. It was a Mr. Eric Piper and J. David Osborne, who are they're not cultists that they say, but they're pretty weird people. They had a little talk with them, and they're just like... They asked they're both Lovecraft fans, and David said, "There's nothing scarier than big slimy things that don't care. Also, I'm really scared of sex, so I'm down with the spooky tentacles."
I mean that's pretty much the same thing anyway.
There's a lot of gold out there in the mythos world. Cody Goodfellow, Laird Barron, Thomas Ligotti, those guys kind of take the whole thing to the next level. And then Eric says, "Yeah."
That's it.
They asked, "Why in the name of all the dark ones did you do this?" And Eric said, "It's a statement on land ownership." And David says, "There is land, and then there is concrete, and with that heaviness comes place, and with place comes the rulers, the owners. You plant your flag and flex your muscles, and the ground you walk becomes yours. We were thinking, in order to claim land, all you really need is enough concrete."
Deep.
And then they asked, "How did you make this monument?" Eric replies, "I woke up from a week's worth of fever dreams and the monument was finished." And then David just says, "The fever dreams were the worst. I sat by the poor boy's bedside, waited on him hand and foot. Then I saw him get up from his stained sheets and build a pyramid from wood and mix the concrete in a wheelbarrow." But how they moved it, they used a forklift. Jesus Christ. I'm wondering how nobody saw them use a forklift driving this giant 300-pound rock.
If anyone did see it, they didn't think twice about it.
Just somebody moving a big rock.
Yeah. What do you think if it's like 4 a.m, you're out driving and you see a forklift carrying something stone? Hey, there's a forklift carrying something stone. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to think about something completely different. Like
just
Batman
pretend,
or boobs.
Pretend something's...
Beanie Babies. Something else that begins with B.
But here's the freaky question that was asked. They asked why they chose Azathoth instead of anyone else, And David responds, "Azathoth's vessel resides in the air filtration system of a smoky bar called Joe's, which is where Eric and I think up all of our best ideas. It seemed only fitting, since I've seen him there so often in blue smoke and yellow walls and the tacked-up collages of 90s-era Polaroid people with Santa hats and wine glasses in their mouth." What in the fuck?
Cthulhu Vatagan. He's into some shit, man.
Yeah, but they thought it was just a fun thing. They had fun doing it, and they thought it could have been worth money. But the Paseo Bar and Grill decided to move it.
They were just really hungry.
They got rid of it.
For some Mexican.
Never eaten there. These two guys have never eaten there.
Dude, all we have to do is claim the land, and then all that food is ours. We don't even have to tip, dude.
The world is at our fingertips. All we need is more concrete.
The Dark Knight.
The Caped Crusader.
Is there any other legitimate ones?
The Shadow in the Night. Or the Terror. Shadow in the Dark, Terror in the Night.
The Terror in the Night.
Criminals.
I don't know. I think we're running out of... Yeah. Batman!
The Winged Avenger.
He's pretty fucking awesome.
My idol.
Like most comics, it has its moments where it's a little
Everybody's had down
less than
times.
stellar. But, I don't know. Some people say not to consider Batman a superhero because he doesn't have powers.
Fuck that noise, man.
Yeah, I've always been in the camp of fuck that noise. But if I were to not consider Batman a superhero, it wouldn't be because he doesn't have powers. It would be because Batman literature is just above superhero literature.
It's more legitimate.
And I love superhero literature.
As an art
so I'm not
form.
putting it down. I just think that Batman is a step above any other.
Yeah, it definitely stands out above all superhero stuff. Like, a lot of the stories are, there's so many ones that are personal, and like there's raw emotions attached to it and real life things that, you could possibly
Do you have a favorite Batman
relate. Story arc?
I'll say, yeah, whether comic.
Man, it would be
movie,
between
but-
a couple, honestly. I was a big fan of the one that just finished, Death in the
So
Family.
your
or
answer
Death
is-
of the Family.
Your answer is no.
Not that. I mean, I guess if I had to choose one, it would be Dark Victory. It's probably
Okay.
my favorite.
I was gonna say that The Long Halloween's my favorite, and Dark Victory's kind of
The continuation.
included in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So I
like
guess
it a
we're
little
on the
more.
same page
But
then.
yeah, definitely.
Oh my God, Court
Year
of
one,
Owls,
too.
though.
Court of Owls, I sadly have not read yet. I
Fuck.
got to keep getting back onto that.
Oh, you gotta read it because it's like writing Batman in over his head. That takes fucking talent. A real Batman fan's gonna be reading a story where Batman's in over his head, and they're not gonna buy it if it's not written well. They're gonna be like, no,
Right.
Batman doesn't get in over his head.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't understand the character.
Where he has, he's got everything to lose, and he just doesn't know how to get himself out of the jam.
It's just like Batman's more prepared than that. Batman's more skilled. Batman's, you know what? I don't know. Like, generally, those stories are hard to write and make them believable. They really are. Like, I'm not trying to just kiss Batman's ass. Like, when you understand
Well,
the
Batman has had
character-
some great writers, though.
Yeah, and
that's where it
to
stands
truly
out.
write that, Batman being in over his head is,
Making it, believable and good.
oh my God, the Court of Owls, the whole saga, amazing. So amazing. I was hesitant to read it too because I was like, I'm not interested in this. I read the first issue of Batman when they did the New 52,
Right.
and I wasn't really feeling it.
It wasn't that
And,
the beginning of Court of Owls, or was there a
yeah.
few up? Well, yeah, it was the beginning.
Didn't really read that for a little while, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really into this whole Court of Owls. I don't care about all these new villains they want to make up. I'd rather
Right.
see Batman has a huge classic pantheon of characters to work with.
A rogues gallery, if you will.
Yeah, villains and friends and other characters that we can write interesting stories with. So many areas yet to explore there. I was like, I don't see any reason to throw new villains in that are all cool, New 52 villains.
But I suspect
oh, boy,
you were
was
wrong.
I wrong. Court of Owls.
Very wrong. I think
as-
that's why I haven't quite gotten around to reading it yet.
through time, I think they're going to prove themselves as a classic villain.
Like the Royal Flush Gang?
Alongside the likes of Two-Face, Joker, Killer Croc.
So what you're saying is much better than the Royal Flush Gang?
I don't know the Royal Flush. Oh, is that the Tim Burton? No. Who's
The
Royal
one
Flush
with
Gang?
the Ace of Spades, the King of Hearts, the Joker, the Queen, like all the cards or whatever.
So there's another Joker in Gotham?
It's not the Joker, it's the Jack.
Yeah. But there's a Joker, too, in the deck.
Well, yeah, but it's Ace through 10.
Oh, okay.
It's the Royal Flush Gang. So
Really? Those are Batman villains?
they've showed up in Batman.
Word.
He's fought them alone. It's a Justice League thing too. Like they've gone through a different.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say they're cooler than them. I think they're going to stand alongside the classics. They're going to be a member of the Batman Rogues Gallery.
But it's a whole Court of Owls, right?
Well, you just got to read it.
I feel like it's kind of like because I read Talon #1, wasn't a huge fan, didn't get into it, and he
Didn't
comes
read any of
from
that.
he comes from the Court of Owls, and that takes place kind of like right after the whole Batman thing happened there.
Yeah, you should just read the Batman story arc, man.
I mean, I'm going to, but I feel like the Court of Owls is kind of like an Illuminati type group. At least that's why I feel like it was presented.
You've got the vibe down. It's just like
you just have to read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I just have to read it. But I mean, there's so many different titles to choose from. As you were saying, you switched over to Legends of the Dark Knight.
Well, I've always loved that.
There's the
different writers, different artists. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get one story per issue. Sometimes you get 2 or 3. They're all self-contained stories about Batman, other characters in Batman, and maybe just little cases he's worked on. And that's what I want to see. Like, I love the big epic storylines too of like Batman going through this whole thing with the Court of Owls. That was awesome because it was a great, drawn out, awesome storyline. But I also like seeing Batman as a detective, working a case, whatever. Seeing Batman face off with one of his classic rogues, and maybe seeing a side of that rogue we hadn't seen before. Seeing the encounter stir something in Batman, and making Batman realize something about himself he hadn't learned before. One of the newest issues had Batman showing off against Scarface, the ventriloquist.
Right.
And it was the classic one, not this new one, the new 52 ventriloquist, which is a woman, which is weird.
Yeah, that's just weird.
But the classic ventriloquist. And,
mild-mannered guy.
Yeah, and it
timid
ended up
looking.
stirring this whole
and a gangster dummy
epiphany about Alfred and Bruce. And
cool.
And he called up Alfred afterwards and thanked him and shit. It was pretty awesome. And yeah, I like Legends of the Dark Knight is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I just like for the beginner Batman reader, like where do you start? Because then there's Arkham Unhinged, there's Batman Detective Comics, Batman, regular Batman, Batman and Robin.
Where do you start year one?
Absolutely.
Other than making Catwoman a prostitute, it's pretty awesome. I have to say I'm not a huge Frank Miller fan.
I was miffed on that. Well, that's classic Miller, though.
But that was really, really good.
You know,
and I can't forgive him for making one of my favorite all-time characters and my first crush in my life a prostitute. But other than that,
it's like, should
one.
I have gotten checked?
You start with year one. Got to read The Long Halloween.
Absolutely, Long Halloween is a must-read for any Batman fan.
Why not Court of Owls?
I say you continue and read Dark Victory right after Long Halloween.
Oh yeah, you have to go along. You have
to read both
Dark
of
Victory
them
back to back.
Hush is a really good.
Hush, of course, has
and these
to
are
be on
all
that list.
story arcs that are in graphic novels you could buy at your local comic shop.
Of course. Arkham Asylum.
But as far as like all the titles that are going now that are current, there's so many different ones. It's hard to figure out what the difference is between them. There's also The Dark Knight, which I wasn't a huge fan of.
No,
a lot of it had to do.
I was reading it for a while, and then
a lot of it had to do with the coloring and the art scheme for me.
You think so?
Well, at least for me, that's what it was.
I feel like the writing was bothering me a little, but maybe it was just a subtle combination of both. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember who was writing or illustrating this. Don't take it to heart. I'm sure people have said worse things on the internet about any content creator. So
yeah, I'm sure they're like, oh, well, that was the nicest insult I've ever had. Thank you, sir. If only more critics were like you. Okay, so who's the other person that's allowed to wear the cowl that you spoke of earlier?
You don't already know, Craig? You're not with me on this?
Well, I feel like it's going to be a trick question sort of thing.
No, it's very simple, man. There's 2 people that are allowed to wear that cowl. It's fucking Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. There's no trick question about it. There's no M. Night Shyamalan bait and switch.
What about
Batman
Terry
Beyond?
McGinnis?
Is that Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you hurt some people. I kind of like Batman Beyond. I think it's innovative.
I never really watched it, I can't actually judge. But
I do have a lot of issues with it, mostly centered around the time span of how it goes down, you know.
Bruce Wayne's old. And
he's
like
old,
super
yeah,
future.
and I can't, yeah, it's like super future, but he would have to be like 126.
Hey man, he's done yoga,
and it's
for
just
a long
him and
time.
his Doberman that's like 60 years old itself.
He does lots of yoga, dude.
Yeah, eats healthy too, I guess.
Alfred,
that's what happens when you eat organic.
Yeah, you haven't really read much of Dick Grayson as Batman, have you?
No, not at all.
I'm actually currently reading Black Mirror.
I kind of like the idea that he stays away from it.
What do you mean?
Just the thought that like Dick Grayson doesn't pick up the call. I like that. I'd rather him just stay as Nightwing.
Well, it's great. It really is great. You got to read it, man. It was handled very, very well.
If you say so, I'll take your
Grant Morrison wrote some of it. Scott Snyder wrote some of it. Scott Snyder's the same guy doing Night of the Owls, Death of the Family. Dick as Batman. It's weird because
I'll take your word for it.
A double-edged sword. It's really well written. It's really great. It makes sense. If anybody else is going to be Batman, it's going to be Dick Grayson. If Batman is presumed dead, or Bruce Wayne is presumed dead.
But why does a new Batman have to emerge? Why can't it be a different hero?
Because it's the symbol of Batman lives on. It's important.
See, now you're getting into Christopher Nolan territory.
No. Christopher Nolan could have picked up on elements of Batman that were legitimate. He did pick up on a lot of them.
It's definitely a topic that needs to be handled gingerly.
That image does need to live on, and Dick Grayson would fill the shoes. It's cool because he is very clearly a different Batman, and normally that's no fun to read. And I give it, while you read it, you are kind of like, man, I would kind of rather be reading Bruce Wayne. I miss reading this character. Like, that this isn't Batman. You know what I mean? It is a Batman, but it's a different
It's
Batman.
not the Batman.
But it's so well done, and it's good. I like Dick's Batman. It's cool. It's fresh, and it's not fresh in an irritating way like I consider Batman Beyond. And I mean,
so you consider Batman Beyond irritating?
To me.
Because it's...
But I've never watched it, so I'm not actually judging it.
But is it literally just
really
because of the fact that how dare someone else be Batman?
Not necessarily.
Type of way.
It's not necessarily a how dare. It's just like...
The audacity of this young fellow.
Well, that's like, we're doing a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and in this movie someone else is going to be Jack Sparrow. I'm like, oh, so it's about some other character that decides to act like they're Jack Sparrow. Like, I like watching Jack Sparrow. Like, Batman isn't just a guy that puts on a costume. He's a very layered character.
Of course. Of course.
So, yeah, that's
so it's still
it's
still in the camp
Batman
of what
Beyond
I said.
is just not. I just don't like it. I don't know. I can't cite specifics. I've never.
You
seen
can't
it.
bring yourself to watch it either.
Maybe someday.
But I think you would end up enjoying it. It's like it's campy and some of it's stupid, but I mean, you can get down with some of it because Bruce Wayne's still there, and like it's like he's mentoring this kid.
That doesn't appeal to me. That doesn't make it sound any better.
That's actually making it sound worse.
Yeah, honestly, it would sound better to me if it was in the future and some dude read the stories of the Batman from 100 years ago and was like, I'm going to bring it back. I'm bringing it back.
Maybe you should write Batman
I'm
Beyond.
bringing the Bat back.
Bringing back the Bat.
Take back the Bat.
I just never understood how he had time to sleep, do homework, go to school, and be Batman.
I'm sorry. I'm checking this text from Harvey Dent.
You recorded a lot of songs, didn't you?
The Bat. Damn it, Harvey Dent. Stop sending me pictures of your half-mangled genitalia.
Half of it looks like a rotten out kielbasa.
Badoop. Craig, come on.
Gotcha.
I was wondering what you were doing down there. Speaking of Dick, back to Dick Grayson. Best segue ever. No.
Easiest segue ever.
He's a good Batman. It's fun to read.
Okay.
Black Mirror's really good. A lot of Jim Gordon. A lot of Dick Grayson as Batman. Not much Damian Wayne in there. Although their teaming was really... That's what Grant Morrison did. Was the Batman and Robin stuff with Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. And then Scott Snyder handled a lot more of the solo Batman stuff. Batman and Jim Gordon stuff.
Yeah. And I like both of those writers. They're really good writers. But there's also been a lot of bad Batman stories.
Yeah.
I would like to say. To me, a treasured find, but one of the worst Batman stories I've ever read is we went to this flea market a few years back, and I found for a couple bucks a little graphic novel, kind of a ripoff called Batman Nosferatu. Did I let you borrow that and read it?
Yeah.
I thought I had. It was really bad.
Very stylized art.
And it was like the characters were... It was like it was written by somebody that didn't quite grasp the translation of English.
It was very bad.
The name of the characters were Bruce Wayne's son and...
Thank you for reading my comic.
Yeah. It was like that. It was almost did. What was the style? Would you say? Like, did it seem like it was French? It seemed French to me. Yeah. They killed off Dick.
They had all the names wrong.
Yeah, all the names were wrong. Jim Gordonson was the commissioner.
And he was Robin. No. No, but didn't they mix up the names too? Like, wasn't like Batman like Bruce Grayson or something?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't remember. But
yeah, Bruce Grayson and Dick Grayson.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Just wrong.
Come on.
Wrong.
Get with the picture.
And I was like reading it, and I was just like, this is possibly the worst, Batman that's ever been made. But it was so bad, like, and it's rare too. You can't really find them anywhere except for eBay. And they're going for like $25.
Okay.
I think last time I checked, that's around where it was going for. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool to have, just
yeah, it's definitely
part of my
it's definitely
great,
cool to have.
It's like my one awful Batman story that I have.
I love like Batman's wealth of characters. I love it.
It is pretty bountiful.
I love it. The villains, the heroes, the friends, the foes.
Just
supporting cast.
The whole mythos is so rich.
Fuck, I want a Kid Robot line. It would be so good.
Didn't they've made like minis? I know they're not Kid Robot.
I mean there were those ones. That
I know you probably
bought.
Want like a specific Kid Robot one.
I have some, but like I bought some, and you look at the box and you see the series, and it was 6 different Batmans, 6 different Jokers, 2 different Batgirls, 2 different Catwomans,
there was
2 different Penguins,
1 Riddler,
and 1 Riddler. Like there's way too many Batman characters. Knock it off.
Right, like they have common Batmans, chase Batmans, and
seriously, way too many Batman.
Same thing.
Characters
There were too many Jokers. Honestly, they had the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah,
they had the Cesar Romero Joker. They had the Jack Nicholson
Cesar Romero
Joker.
No, they didn't have. No, it wasn't. Come on,
it kind of looked like that to me.
They had the Heath Ledger Joker and they had classic Joker. That's what it was.
Could you consider it? Would you think they had the Mark Hamill Joker?
It's more Mark Hamill than Cesar Romero for sure.
Ha ha! No mustache.
No mustache. Right? People gave Kevin Smith shit for giving the Joker facial hair, but not Cesar Romero. Come on. That has a precedence in the Batman mythos.
It might be because in that campy-ass series, nobody took it seriously. Batman wasn't a creation to be taken seriously yet.
True.
I mean, it was right after Silver Age Batman, so...
So have you read any of these villain comics that have been coming out?
Oh man, I haven't had time to get down to the comic shop and pick them up. They're sitting there in my box, man, and they're just...
I try to cut back on
building
comics. Up. I try to, and then DC pulls this shit.
They're assholes, man. Like, I can't afford this right now. I got wedding stuffs to save up for.
One of my only saving graces is that Batman only comes out every couple weeks. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. Like,
me. Every week a 4 new Batman comics.
I would say there's probably at least 16 comics that I still have to buy.
So far, I'm
sitting in my box.
Are you getting all of them?
Yeah,
I have them all Batman put in villain comic.
I asked them to put all of them in there.
Dude, I did the math. Well, you're gonna get 20% with your deal, but
right.
I did the math, and it's like over $60 or something. I don't remember. It's been a while. Don't quote me.
$60.
I've read so far. I've got Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Riddler, Court of Owls, Scarecrow. I think those are the ones that I've picked up so far.
Nice. And they're good? Are they all good? Or would you say some are better than others?
Yeah, some are better than others. But it's cool. It's interesting. It seems like what's going on. I don't know do you know what's going on right now, Craig? Something about the Justice League being dead and
no,
Batman's gone.
I'm totally lost right now on that.
Dude, I have no idea.
I'm behind. I am definitely behind on my reading.
But I guess with Batman gone in Gotham and something about the prisoners of Arkham and Blackgate have been set free. I don't know. They've got the Scarecrow going around. Like whoever's some shadowy, mysterious people. I don't know who.
The Court of Owls.
Around. It's not the Court of Owls because the Court of Owls were one of the villains. Like they've got the Scarecrow going around to all the villains and giving them these coins.
But you don't know who he's working for
them. And yeah, I don't. It's. I've read all these comics, and I'm still I don't know. It's shady.
But it is tied. They're all tied together.
Yeah, and I guess at the end of the Scarecrow one, because the Scarecrow one I thought was really cool because it had a few villains in it. The Riddler, Mr. Freeze, there was like evidence of Clayface in it, though you didn't actually see him. Poison Ivy. I liked that he interacted with a bunch of them because he's the one they're sending around. Like the Two-Face issue had Scarecrow in it. You know, so I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
But Scarecrow, since he's going around to everybody, had a bunch of people. But anyway, I guess at the end of that issue and throughout the buildup of that, you see that I guess the prisoners of Blackgate are being rallied up by Bane, and he's going to try to take over Gotham, whereas the control of Gotham right now has been placed in the hands of the Arkham residents, like Mr. Freeze, Scarecrow.
They're all taking
Poison
up.
Ivy.
They like divided up the city.
Yes, and
they're all in charge. And
Scarecrow's going around trying to unite them. Like, war's coming. We have to be united if we don't want them to take over Gotham, and we want to keep our own little corners.
And who is them? Would that be
Blackgate?
Blackgate.
Yeah, Bane and Blackgate.
So Bane's just like, I got this army. Now I want to take over. Or he'd be like,
I've got this army.
No, it's not.
I want to take over
not Tom
Gotham
Hardy.
again.
It's not Tom Hardy doing an impression of Adam Sandler, doing an impression of Sean Connery, doing an impression of Rush Limbaugh eating donuts.
or any other kind of pastry, I guess. Would be sufficient.
Any pastry, yeah.
So it's the real Bane?
Yeah. All right, Craig, before we get out of here.
We're leaving? But
Yeah.
I want to talk about Batman for like 5 more hours.
Oh, we can do that.
But
we got to stop recording.
then they'll never know. Well, there's always so many other podcasts we could do on Batman, though.
Well, that's for
blow
Fairpoint Pro members.
Everybody's brains.
The Fairpoint Pro members get the 5-hour post-episode discussion. How do you become a Fairpoint Pro member? It's not a thing.
Well, first send check or money order to Secret Room, California.
California? What? No, don't do that at all. Don't listen to him.
And then we'll just have the
He's
P.O. box mailed
sabotaging our
back to us.
podcast. Before we get out of here, we're going to do something quick. You have roughly 5 seconds to answer.
4, 3.
No. Come on. This is the rules of what we're doing.
5 seconds to answer what?
A couple episodes, we did a little loose Batman cast. We're going to go back through and cast the rest of that movie. But the casting agents are nuts, and they're like, we got to cast this movie so fast. It doesn't
Just get
even
people.
Matter. Just like who
First
you got,
person.
You got 5 seconds, and bam. All right.
Okay. All right. Gina Davis.
No.
Ronnie Dangerfield. Fuck,
Wait.
he's dead.
All right, Craig. So these characters have already been cast. Batman.
Ben Affleck.
Penguin.
Patton Oswalt.
Harley Quinn.
Alison Brie.
Harvey Bullock.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Renee Montoya.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Ra's al Ghul.
The Christopher Lee. So we have to finish this casting real quick, right?
Yes. All right, Craig. Get ready. Nightwing.
Haley Joel Osment.
Red Robin. Tim Drake.
Oh, you're getting young now. Okay.
He's not too young.
The kid from Insidious.
Jeez, that's way too young. Who the fuck's going to play Damian Wayne?
The kid from Insidious' brother.
Barbara Gordon.
Why? Miley Cyrus.
Jim Gordon.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Lucius Fox.
Morgan. Oh, can't.
Nope. Already been cast.
Samuel L. Jackson.
You motherfucker. You cliche-ass motherfucker.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Okay. Better. Fair enough. Alfred Pennyworth.
Robin Williams.
Bruce. Don't you fancy a nap and maybe a warm meal?
Oh, maybe it'll be your butler. How would you do, sir? Fluff your pillow, sir.
The Riddler.
John Leguizamo.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Horrible bad man.
It makes so much sense.
Poison Ivy.
Amy Adams.
Who's Amy Adams?
The redhead from the Muppet movie.
Oh, okay. Clayface.
Jeez. The monster or the
Amy
person?
Adams.
Yeah, Amy Adams.
The monster
Recast.
or the person? What?
The actor?
I imagine
or
the same person would.
Ron Perlman.
Okay. Man-Bat.
Batboy.
Not a real actor.
Does it matter? Matt Damon.
Not a real actor.
Let me go like one step lower. Andy Samberg.
Not a real person.
Ashton Kutcher.
No.
Matt Damon.
Vicky Vale.
Rachel Lee Cook.
Scarecrow.
Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Leslie Tompkins.
Betty White.
Okay. Cliche motherfucker. Mr. Freeze.
Seth Rogen.
Look, Batman, I gotta freeze you. I'm just.
I mean, look, trust me, I don't want to do
There's
it.
a freezy gun on my arm. What am I? Ventriloquist.
The guy or the girl?
No, it's up to you.
Tim Robbins.
Interesting. Superman.
Tim Taylor.
Meaning Tim Allen?
Yes.
Not a real person. Tim Allen's the real person.
Tim Allen. Whatever.
Not Al? Al doesn't get to play Superman?
No. That bastard got way too much just because he had a beard.
Apparently there's some resentment between
Richard
Craig
Karn
and the character Al from 90s sitcom Home
Richard
Improvement.
Karn, you got replaced by Steve Harvey on Family Feud.
Wow,
How do you feel?
I thought it was a joke, but this is sincere. No one knows the guy that plays Al's name.
I
Greg
do.
knows.
I know. And I'm not forgiving.
He may not know my name yet, but he will. He will.
Everybody shall rue the name Richard Karn.
Maxie Zeus.
Is that guy that thought he
Yes.
was a god?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That, fuck, what's his name? You know what? I'm going rogue on this one. Ernie Hudson.
Catwoman.
Also Ernie Hudson.
Going really rogue on this one. Two-Face.
I'm going to cast two separate actors, one for each half, okay? The mangled half is going to be Ray Liotta.
Okay.
And the non-mangled half is going to be Robert Patrick.
I don't know. They don't have the same body type.
Sure they do. Trust
I don't know
me.
how well that's going to match. All right, well, there you go. There you go, folks. There's your new Batman movie. Don't be worried about Ben Affleck. Be worried about
Everything else.
Yeah. Be worried about everything else in this movie.
Oh man, we just made you feel good about Ben Affleck being cast.
Hey guys, thank you for listening. Please, as always, if you want to get a hold of us, there's so many routes of doing that. Facebook.com/
Too many to count, man. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Facebook.com/Fairpoint Podcast.
At Fairpoint Pod on Twitter.
YouTube.com/Fairpoint Podcast.
Or fairpointpodcast at yahoo.com if you still use that email stuffs.
There is a complex network of carrier pigeons in effect.
Yeah, I mean, first we got to figure out how to distribute them to the mass.
And there's always the classic telepathy.
I don't know, man. I'm not good with that.
Or, if you're playing the Xbox One, just shout into it.
We will be watching you, even when you pee.
Yeah, that Kinect can see around corners, man.
Yeah, it sure can. See through walls, too. From the secret room,
I'm Nathan Cabasser.
And I'm the #1 Batman fan. Craig Lewis.
Okay. That was really creepy.
Well, mister, I have to budge in and say my name.
I'm an
first.
interrupting cow. Moo.
Interrupting cow says
Moo. Moo. What about a zow?
Nope. Cutting you off there. That's enough playing around with as God. I'm Craig Lewis. That's Nathan Cabasser. Take it easy.
Next week on Scare Point.
The bastard son of 100 killers. Scourge of Elm Street. Architect of nightmares. Freddy Krueger.
Now you're playing with power.